Did you know that there is a specific sound that makes God stop everything he's doing and pay attention to you? Asterisk asterisk. We live in a noisy world. Millions of prayers rise to heaven every single day. Requests for help, cries for rescue, wish lists, but most of these sounds are just religious noise. However, there is a different frequency, a specific kind of sound that doesn't just reach God. It pulls his presence instantly into the environment where you are. When this sound is released, physics changes. The atmosphere becomes heavy. Chaos is brought into order. I'm not talking about vocal ability or beautiful music. I'm talking about a spiritual technology that Jesus revealed 2,000 years ago to a Samaritan woman, and that Paul and Silas used to break open a maximum security prison. If you feel like God is distant or like heaven is made of bronze, the problem is not God's distance. The problem is the frequency you're emitting. Today, we're going to decode the secret of John chapter 4. You're going to learn how to release the sound that turns you into a magnet for the glory of God. Stay with me. This will change the way you fight your battles. Welcome. If you're hungry for depth and not satisfied with shallow things, you're in the right place. My name is Your Name, and here we explore divine systems and spiritual keys that open real doors. Today's theme is spiritual attraction. We're going to dive into John chapter 4 and unpack one of the most shocking statements Jesus ever made, that the Father is seeking something. Think about that. The God who has everything, who created gold, silver, and galaxies, he is looking for something? What could possibly be missing for the one who has it all? The answer to that question is the key to your victory. Get ready, because we're going to connect Jacob's well, John 4, with the prison in Philippi, Acts 16. You're going to leave this message with a practical tool to change the atmosphere of your home today. Important question asterisk. I want you to do a quick self-check in the comments. When you sing or pray, do you feel like you're speaking into the air? Or do you feel the atmosphere shift? Be honest. Right below, I want to change my frequency today. If you're ready to get out of autopilot, subscribe now. Turn on notifications because what we bring here is not entertainment, it's solid food. Leave a like to show that you are one of those who worship in spirit and in truth. Let's go straight to the core. John chapter 4. Jesus is tired, sitting by a well, talking to a Samaritan woman. A woman full of issues, a complicated moral past, 5 husbands. And it's to this unlikely woman that Jesus reveals the greatest secret of worship. He says, "Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him." John 4 verse 23. Stop and focus on the word seeking. In the Greek, it implies an active, intentional search. God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and owner of everything. He doesn't need money. He doesn't need advice. He doesn't need strength. But there is one thing God cannot create automatically: voluntary love and sincere worship from a human heart. He can create stars with a word, but he cannot force you to worship him, because forced worship is not love, it's programming. That's why God is constantly on the hunt. The eyes of the Lord range throughout the earth. 2 Chronicles 16 verse 9. What is he scanning for? He's looking for the frequency of true worship. When he finds someone emitting that sound, he stops. He manifests. You don't need to convince God to come to you. You just need to become the kind of person he's looking for. A magnet doesn't strain to attract metal. It simply is magnetic. When you worship in spirit and in truth, you become irresistible to the presence of God. So what does spirit and truth actually mean? Many people think it means slow songs and tears. No, spirit means internal connection, not external performance. It's not about the location, Jerusalem or Mount Gerizim. It's about your inner life. Truth means total authenticity. No masks. The Samaritan woman was spiritually naked before Jesus. He knew about her husbands, and she didn't run. God is not looking for perfection. He's looking for truth. The sound that attracts God is the sound of a heart that says, "Lord, I'm flawed, I'm broken, but I love you and I depend on you." Hypocrisy repels God. Sincerity attracts him instantly. Why does so much worship today fail to attract God's presence? Because it's performative. It's soul and deception, not spirit and truth. Soul-based worship is emotion-driven. If the music gives me goosebumps, God is here. That's a lie. Goosebumps are biological. Spirit-based worship is conviction-driven. I know who God is, even when I feel nothing. Jesus said to the Samaritan woman, "You worship what you do not know." Knowledge produces true worship. When you say God is good, it can't be a memorized phrase. It has to be a truth you've lived. The devil knows music. He was the worship leader of heaven. He can play instruments better than any human. But there is one thing he cannot counterfeit: the truth of a child who loves the Father in the middle of pain. This is where the sound becomes a weapon. God is not attracted by vocal beauty. He is attracted by the frequency of faith. Think of a radio. If you want to hear station 100.5, you must tune exactly to 100.5. At 100.4, all you get is static. Many Christians are living in static. They pray with doubt. They sing while their mind is stuck in the problem. They worship with a heart full of bitterness. That's noise. God doesn't tune into that. But when your spirit, focus on God, aligns with truth, honesty of heart, the channel opens. The connection is immediate. Have you ever noticed that sometimes in a service, a simple person starts praying, and suddenly the atmosphere shifts? Everyone feels it. What happened? That person released the sound. They touched the heart of God. And God said, "Found one. Someone who doesn't just want my miracles. They want my presence." And when God finds a worshiper, he sets up his tent there. Now let's prove that this sound works instantly and anywhere. Acts chapter 16. Paul and Silas. They weren't in a beautiful temple. They were in the sewer of a Roman prison. Backs torn open. Feet in stocks. Darkness. By human logic, it was impossible to produce a pleasant sound. Everything in them screamed pain. But the Bible says that at midnight they were singing hymns. Analyze this through John 4. Were they worshiping in spirit? Yes, because their flesh was crushed. Their flesh didn't want to sing. Their spirit took over. Were they worshiping in truth? Yes, they weren't pretending it didn't hurt. They were declaring a truth greater than the pain. God's sovereignty. They released the exact sound God was seeking. Imagine heaven, millions of angels, comfortable prayers, and suddenly, God hears a sound coming from a prison in Philippi, a raspy sound, from wounded men, full of love and trust. God says to the angels, "Silence. I hear truth." That sound attracted God. And when God stepped into the prison to meet his worshippers, what happened? The physical structure couldn't handle the weight of spiritual glory. The earthquake wasn't to break the prison. It was the consequence of God's arrival. Where God steps, what doesn't belong to him shakes and collapses. This is the power of the sound. It ignores walls. It ignores chains. It ignores diagnoses. If you can release genuine worship from the bottom of your pit, you attract the same God who came down in Philippi. The speed of the response, suddenly, is connected to the purity of the sound. It didn't take days. It was immediate, because God's desire to be near a true worshiper is immediate. What happens to an environment when you release this sound? We call it atmospheric displacement. Two bodies can't occupy the same space. Two atmospheres can't occupy the same room. If your home is filled with arguments, fear, anxiety, heaviness, that's a dark atmosphere. Low and dense frequency. You don't sweep darkness out. You turn on the light. Worship in spirit and truth is sonic light. When you open your mouth, not just play music, but declare who God is, darkness gets pushed out. King Jehoshaphat understood this. He sent the singers ahead of the army. Why? To shift the atmosphere before the battle. Worship created an ambush for the enemy. Worship confuses the devil. He cannot operate in an environment saturated with God's presence. Maybe you've been trying to fix your home through discussion, arguments, force, and nothing changes. Change the sound. Stop complaining, which attracts demons, and start worshiping, which attracts God. Test it. When tension rises, stop everything. Don't argue. Exalt Jesus. Give thanks. You'll feel the weight lift. It's physical. Why? Because God arrived. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. The sound that instantly attracts God is the sound of priority. When you worship in the middle of chaos, you're saying, God, you matter more than my problem. That honors God. And God honors those who honor him. How do you become the true worshiper of John 4? Not technique, transparency. Many of us were taught to wear a Sunday mask with God. Pretty words, angry hearts. That's noise. Want to attract God right now? Be real. Kneel and say, Father, I'm afraid. I'm angry. I feel alone. But above all, you are my God, and I trust you. Raw truth mixed with faith is the sweetest incense there is. Psalm 51 says, A broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise. God resists the proud, those who pretend they don't need him, but he gives grace to the humble. The secret to attracting God instantly is breaking the jar. Remember the woman who broke the alabaster jar at Jesus' feet? The fragrance was released only when the jar broke. As long as you maintain the image of strong and perfect, the perfume stays trapped. Break yourself before him. Cry if you need to, but worship. Declare his greatness over your smallness. That contrast, my weakness versus his glory, creates the sound of miracles. From today on, stop trying to feel God. Start trying to please God with truth. Presence is not a feeling. It's a response. If you release the right sound, he will come. It's a promise. The Father is seeking such. Let him find you today. Today we learned that God is not passive. He is active, searching. His eyes are scanning the earth right now like radar, looking for a specific frequency. He's not looking for singers. He's looking for worshipers. A singer has technique. A worshiper has a history with God. Right now, you can turn wherever you are, a bedroom, a car, an office, into the Holy of Holies. No pastor required. No background music required. Just you, your spirit, and your truth. Release the sound. Not the sound of complaint. Not the sound of fear. But the sound of radical trust. The sound of Paul and Silas at midnight. I challenge you, in the next few minutes, turn everything off. Close your eyes. Give God the most sincere worship you've ever offered. Tell him the truth, and exalt him above the truth. You will see the atmosphere change. You will feel the peace that surpasses understanding fill the room. Let's seal this with a prophetic declaration in the comments. Declare to the spiritual realm that you understood the secret of John 4. Right below, I am the worshiper the Father is seeking. By writing this, you're positioning yourself on God's radar. If this message opened your spiritual ears, subscribe. We are forming an army of worshipers who know how to use spiritual weapons. Share this with someone who needs to change the atmosphere of their home. Stay in peace. Release the sound. And let the presence come. See you next time.